I promise to tell the truth, always, about my intentions and my beliefs.
Straight talk.
Straight talk. A little straight talk. The success will be fairly easy.
I believe that we can win an overwhelming victory in a very short period of time.
Easy. It was easy. The American people were led to believe that this would be some kind of a day at the beach, which many of us fully understood from the beginning would be a very, very difficult undertaking.
I knew it was probably going to be long and hard and tough, and those that voted for it and thought that somehow it was going to be some kind of an easy task, then I'm sorry they were mistaken. Maybe they didn't know what they were voting for.
President Bush has talked about our staying in Iraq for 50 years.
Maybe 100. That'd be fine with me.
You shouldn't have used the word timetable.
I didn't use the word timetable. I think it's a pretty good timetable. Straight talk. I went down to South Carolina and said that the flag that was flying over the state capitol, which was a Confederate flag, was that I shouldn't be involved in it. It was a state issue. It's an act of cowardice. Straight talk.
Neither party should be defined by pandering to the outer reaches of American politics and the agents of intolerance, whether they be Louis Farrakhan or Al Sharpton on the left, or Pat Robertson or Jerry Falwell on the right.
Do you believe that Jerry Falwell is still an agent of intolerance?
No, I don't.
McCain recently spent some political quality time with Falwell, delivering the commencement address at the Reverend's Fundamentalist Liberty University.
Straight talk.
Should gay marriage be allowed?
I think that gay marriage should be allowed if there's a ceremony kind of thing, if you want to call it that. I don't have any problem with that. I believe if people want to have private ceremonies, it's fine. I do not believe that gay marriages should be legal.
Are you against civil unions for gay couples?
No, I am not. But
I've come here and told these people, never again will a disaster, either natural or man-made, be mishandled in this fashion.
McCain said if he were in charge during Katrina, he would have been on the ground helping.
The morning that Katrina made land, mere hours after it hit, where was Senator McCain? Celebrating his own birthday with President Bush right next to Air Force One on the ground in Arizona.
Senator McCain, you have said repeatedly, quote, I know a lot less about economics than I do about military and foreign policy issues. I still need to be educated.
Actually, I don't know where you got that quote from.
I got it from John McCain, and here it is. Quote, I'm going to be honest. I know a lot less about economics than I do about military and foreign policy issues. I still need to be educated.
You have admitted that you're not exactly an expert when it comes to the economy, and many have said that
I have not. Actually, I have not.
Now, I am not an expert on Wall Street. I am not an expert on some of the stuff.
I've got to convince people because of my extensive background on the economy and knowledge.
I don't have that kind of expertise to know exactly whether he has cut interest rates sufficiently or not. I wish interest rates were zero.
Of course those tax cuts have to remain permanent.
I voted against the tax cuts.
You voted to extend them?
I voted to extend them. I voted against the tax cut. I've always been for tax cuts. We either keep our word or we don't keep our word.
Senator McCain, are Americans better off than they were 8 years ago?
I think you could argue that Americans overall are better off.
Senator, you do not believe we are better off by any means than we were 8 years ago.
Oh, no. No.
I think psychologically, and a lot of our problems today, as you know, are psychological.
The economy seems to weaken with each passing day, but it sounds a lot like John McCain might not have heard the news.
I have a great belief that the fundamentals of our economy are very strong.
Our economy, I think, still, the fundamentals of our economy are strong.
We know that the The President Bush was a C student at Yale. Do you remember your GPA at school?
My GPA earned me 5th from the bottom of my class at the Naval Academy status. So the GPA was based, since that was in the Coolidge administration, was a different measurement, but I can assure you on today's standards it would be barely passing.
Senator, on computers, are you a Mac guy or a PC guy?
Neither. I am a illiterate that has to rely on my wife for all of the assistance that I can get. I can barely get the news clips that have my name on them.
John McCain does not outright deny he told a joke in 1986 about a woman who enjoyed being raped by a gorilla, or the defense that McCain's campaign offered today for that joke and others. You just got to move on and be yourself. That's what people want. They want somebody who's authentic, and this kind of stuff is a good example of McCain being McCain.
In April, Senator McCain came out against helping women earn equal pay for equal work.
In September, he proposed making everyone pay income tax on employer health insurance benefits.
John McCain voted in favor of privatizing Social Security 3 times.
Talked about it being unfair that insurance companies cover Viagra but not birth control, and
I certainly do not want to discuss that issue.
But I think you voted against.
I don't know what I
voted against coverage of birth insurance companies to cover birth control, forcing health control in the past. Is that still your position?
Look at my voting record on it, but I have. I don't recall the vote right now, but I'll be glad to look at it and get back.
How do we beat the bitch?
But that's an excellent question.
Renewable energy to transform our economy? Create jobs and energy independence? That's John McCain.
But a broad federal moratorium stands in the way of energy exploration and production. And I believe it is time for the federal government to lift these restrictions and to put our own reserves to use.
Same one where the diminutive sign-carrying librarian was escorted away. McCain?
We haven't heard an explanation of why you voted against your colleagues' proposals to increase health care funding in 2004, 5, 6, and 7, when we had troops coming back from 2 wars.
Instead of the answer the questioner is looking for, McCain now takes credit for the GI Bill and takes a political shot at Jim Webb.
But the reason why I have a perfect voting record from organizations like the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the American Legion, and all the other veteran service organizations is because of my support of them.
You do not have a perfect voting record.
He's consistently voted against increased funding at the VA, and he's been a major opponent of the new GI Bill, so he doesn't really have a strong record to stand on.
And there's a difference between McCain himself being a veteran and him doing right by veterans as a politician.
The President Putin of Germany gave... I am not President Bush.
True, but you did vote with Bush 90% of the time. Tax breaks for big corporations and the wealthy, but almost nothing for the middle class. You may not be George Bush, but...
I voted with the President over 90% of the time, higher than a lot of my even Republican colleagues.
That old Beach Boys song, Bomberan? Bom, 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 bom. Anyway,